Look, man, I'm trying to help you find a real job.
Bro, why do you give a fuck? Why, nigga?
Woo! Moving scenes in this particular the Shy episode. I mean, I'm telling you, listen, that had me in tears several times. Okay, Bakari, I need you to stop. But it's a real things that were happening in this episode. We got to see first and foremost Trey, with his little situation with his young teen pregnancy and wanting to have a say on whether they keep the child or not. We got to see obviously Kevin as well, his emotional support for his boy. We also saw Shard, saying he loves his girl, after a few weeks, and she showed him different things. Love seeing that. We also got a little deeper insight into our brother Trey, Victor, who is beginning to turn the screws on his lies. Sir, you're going down a very dangerous, precarious road. You're having to deal with your trans woman now, and now you're also lying to the people and sexing the woman behind your actual fake missus's back. It's getting a bit tense, it's getting a bit tight. We had Keisha and Emmett as well. Keisha is coming out playing wifey types of roles. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? I want to see them flourish. I can't lie to you. I enjoyed seeing them earlier on in earlier seasons. So it's good to see these two kind of back on it again once more. So let's just break this episode down. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you guys still locked and so loaded. We're here to give you guys a deeper review as well. Let's get clip one.
So I have no say in this.
I care about what you think, but this is my body.
Ooh, this conversation always gets people heated and messed up. Her body, your choice. Her choice, your desire. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, they're very young. Okay, very, very young. And I can't advocate, obviously, for abortion as being as a Christian, but I too understand the process of why people go through it, right? These are two young individual people. And let me be very honest with you. The prospects right now ain't great. Okay, the prospects right now aren't great, okay? The vision right now ain't great. The direction ain't great. Money ain't great, okay? We haven't even finished school yet, and we've got a little one on the way. So I would understand if the natural direction was to go towards the big A. I could understand it. I would be able to empathize with it. But clearly, for, old boy here, he wants to keep the kid. He wants to keep his child. He wants to nurture and become a father. And I think that's because of the kind of upbringing he's had. The upbringing where he was unsupported. Parents didn't really take care of him. He had Reg, his brother, previously, but obviously his mom kind of was there, but kind of failed. There's a whole lot of issues, I think, that are working behind the scenes that haven't really been spoken about as to why I think he is trying to become a father so early on, why he's so eager. It will seem like you can change your fate almost, or change, I said Trey, but Jake, but it will seem like you can change your trajectory or change your life by doing something different in your kid's life. Like, what I didn't get, I'm going to make sure my kid doesn't get. It doesn't always work like that, especially if you're not equipped and if your mind isn't ready to do that actual work. It sounds good, it feels good, but when you actually get down to nitty gritty, have you got the resources mentally, emotionally, physically, financially to be able to change the cyclical cycle that you've now involved yourself in as well? Early teen pregnancy is not easy, but it is her body, and if she decides she doesn't want to have the kid, there's nothing we can do about that. And you know what? We have to respect that, because again, she is a carrier and she is the one that's going to be pregnant for 9 months. We actually have no say on that. We can say what we want, but again, she's correct. It's her body, and I don't think any man should have the right to police that. We can say we don't like it, we don't want it, but we shouldn't have to police that.
What? None.
Now, it's really interesting, this scene, because, I think many of us have been in this position where we want our parent to kind of notice there's something wrong with us, right? So Jake kind of positioned himself strategically at the table and kind of hoped his brother would ask a few more questions. And sometimes adults have so much going on in their lives that they ask the first time, they can see that potentially you might not be correct, you might not be all the way 100%, But because they've got so much going in their life, they don't further ask again. Well, if you didn't say it the first time, I ain't gonna pressure you. But I think this is really important for any parent out there to also pick up on the signs that are being shown to you. And I think with Jake, there was pure signs. When he's sitting there, he's literally looking onwardly, despaired, looking like, there's something on his mind. And that's why his brother asked him, what's in your mind? All right, bro, and that would have been a few more minutes. Hey, bro, listen, sit with me. Talk to me. What's going on? But he didn't have time for him then, and then he didn't have time for him later on at his press conference. Now, of course, timing is everything, but maybe what could have happened was that, bro, listen, tell me what the situation is right now. Look, I've only got a few minutes, but tell me what it is, and let's have a little chat later on in the evening, okay? I'm learning also to do this as well, because I find it very difficult. When people call me, I'm like, I'm busy, I got work to do, and I don't even want to pick up the call. But when it comes to people's, trauma and everything, I like to try and see that if they're going through something, I like to pick up on that, and I would give you my time. So I think Jake just wanted his older brother, or he wanted that father figure in that moment, just to support him and just to ask that extra question. But again, because people are going through things, people are suffering and trying to live life, he's got things on his mind, he doesn't want to. At the same time, Jake also, why does he feel fearful to tell his brother? Well, because that's his brother. And two, the feeling of disappointment, the feeling of being angry that, you failed, or your disappointment, the feeling of being abandoned or discarded for telling, somebody you care about this piece of information. So I can understand why he too felt some type of way, not being able to express how he felt.
It's okay.
This is one of the most moving parts of the episode, again, alongside one or two others. But this is the second time I've seen this great kind of cinematography and storytelling. When it comes to relationships, many men, black boys especially, struggle to express how they feel. And the first time was with Jake, was with his girlfriend previously. Well, I mean, it was Kevin's girlfriend first, but was with his girlfriend, and she had to help him along, be able to open up his thought processes, okay, to be able to express how he felt to her. She had to almost become a therapist in that moment to get him to open up. Now, that's a very difficult thing to do at a very young age, and that's a lot to put on somebody to do. A lot of women do it, but this is where we need a lot of men to really get into a place where they really understand that, hey, look, what you're going through, I want to help, but you've got to open up. You've got to be vulnerable. And in this moment, what Kevin did is a brilliant and beautiful thing. He said, listen, bro, you can be sad around me, bro. That's cool. You don't have to do that fake strength stuff. It's cool. And I think in that moment, for Jake, it's a release, and if that continues onwards, that friendship blossoms in a beautiful way. And actually, we allow men to be vulnerable, and that means that they can grow in their emotional intelligence, they can grow in their expression, because a failure to express oftentimes leads to physical and verbal, expression of how you feel. That's not what we want in the end, So that's a beautiful moment as well, captured by Kevin. Love that as well. Let's move on to Shard.
I always said that I would never date a guy with a record.
Yeah, listen, I love seeing this too. I don't know what it is. You know what? I think it's his naivety. I think I think a lot of what I really love about these two is the fact that his naivety and his innocence of not really knowing too tough some of the experiences that she's been through in terms of what she wants to offer to him in her world, like through different events and going to different places and dating in a particular way. You can see that his dress sense has changed. But it's really important. They're both wearing white in the scene. Let me tell you something. Again, that talks about the innocence, their naivete. It's intentional that they're both wearing white as well, the purity. And so when they're talking about their love, there's a pureness to his love. There's an innocence to both of their love. And the fact that they're talking about this particular scene where she said, I've never thought I was going to date an ex-con. And we saw that in the episodes beforehand, where she was going to walk away. And it was that extra push that he took to say, listen, look, just give me a chance, And that one chance that she took, it was the right move. And what she didn't look for the, you know, the 5-star restaurant experience. What she was looking for was content of character and heart. Now, of course, I'm sure money will come into play a little bit later on, but the main thing was, what's his character, what's his heart, what's his values, what's his attitudes. And I think those things won her over eventually as well. Now, what I love about this next scene with Shard is this powerful movement. Now, I apologize if there's some swearing in it, but this is powerful because this is the kind of stuff that breaks generations, you know. A lot of black boys, they need a mentor. They need an experienced black man. They need someone to tell them, brother, what you're going through, you don't have to.
Look, man. I'm trying to help you find a real job.
Bro, why do you give a fuck? Why, nigga?
Woo, Chile. That was a moving piece of scene right there. I can't tell you that. I'll tell it for free. That was a moving and it was powerful in that moment because let's be real. Honestly, you know, when you see some of those things like that, the brother's asking one powerful question. Why do you care? Why is it that you are doing something completely different to what everyone else is doing? Why is it you're able to see beyond what I'm just offering on the table? What is it about you that you're able to go beyond what I'm moving mad here? Why are you looking beyond? Talk to me. Why are you seeing me? Because I haven't been seen before. And that's where a lot of black brothers are. They have not been seen nor heard before, and they need somebody like Shard who's going to see and hear them. I hope I pronounced his name. I probably pronounced it wrongly. So this is why this next piece is also powerful.
What about you?
Damn. Nobody ever asked me what my dreams were at your age. That's why I'm asking now.
Whew, Chile. I tell you that now, kids. Like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Yeah. Whew. You know, you guys have watched my video where I spoke about my dad told me about, you know, to dream. And to hear another black man ask that of another black man is a moving and emotional scene here. But I think what's so powerful about it is that question about what is your dream means there is room to expand your thinking. Don't just think about immediately right now. Think about the dream. Think a bigger picture. Think about wider. Think about the future. It's hard to think about the future when you're not eating right now. It's hard to think about the future when you're not able to get what you want right now. It's hard to think about the future when you realize right now it's not going the way that you want it to go. It's hard to think about the future when you think about it and say, actually, when I deep my situation presently, it's not going the way that I thought it should. That's difficult, right? Right now, I have to still to even eat, you know, on a sensible level. So to hear about dreams, it gives a sense of hope, and that's something that's always been stripped when you're on the streets, when you're living life that way. It's hard.
I start telling you my dreams, then you gotta tell me yours too, bro.
Reciprocation, we love to see it. What this is camaraderie, okay? In order to build a relationship with somebody that is genuine and that is interchangeable, there is an interchange or exchange of information. Now, he's asking Bakari, Sharad, to be open and transparent and tell him his dreams. And he's saying, listen, I hear that and I want to be co-equals in this. I don't want just a mentor, I want a brother. Because that's what he's really asking for. When you start saying, I want the same thing from you, I want it to be reciprocated. What he's really asking for is brotherhood rather than a mentor. And that makes it completely different, because when you say somebody is a brother rather than a mentor, that's a lifelong friend. That's somebody who sees you as co-equal. That's somebody who sees you as a partner. That's somebody who sees you on the same level. You're not a small boy to them. You know what I'm saying? So now there's a different type of respect that comes into play within the relationship that they hold. So a lot, you know, that was also a moving piece as well, because what he was really doing was saying, I need a brother. When you should be able to rest on me too. You should be able to know that you can find solitude here with me too. You should know that you can find peace with me too. The same way I'm going to find peace with you, bro.
You could keep up this facade if you want.
but it'll come out eventually.
When you lie. That first note was off, but don't worry about that. When you lie, yeah, and when you're not being truthful, she's actually right. The exposure will happen. What's done in the dark will come to light, right? So listen, what he's trying to do is trying to live almost a double life. It's going to be exposed very quickly. And that's what the young lady's letting him know. Don't wait to get exposed. Just come out and tell the truth, which is the same truth that Sharad said as well to him. Listen, you can come and tell your truth. Don't live this lie, because when you live this lie, it's going to come out and be exposed. It gets worse for you, right? But he's so focused on the fact that he knows, and again, it's pressure because he knows what's at stake. He has to do this. So when he's seeing the increase of the followers and people loving his story, it's kind of hard for him to quit that, because what he's seen is results. And the results are hard to argue with, especially when the end goal is to make sure that everybody who is depending on him, okay, is got to be catered for. I've got to make it. Therefore, at all costs, I must make it. If that means if that means subsiding my love and putting it on the side, I will do that. If that means faking my love, I will do that. Because at the end of the day, there's pressure on me to do so. And I get that, man.
Hot shower, and I'm gonna whip something up.
Keisha, you ain't gotta do all that. These niggas be happy with just chicken.
You can at least give him a home-cooked meal.
Ooh, Keisha out here trying to play the wife, baby. When you talk about home-cooked meal like that, listen, he's absolutely right. The fellas would have been absolutely fine with chicken. Let's be honest. The fellas would have been fine with chicken. Let's be honest. The fellas would have been absolutely fine with chicken. They would have not died. They would have lived. Okay? They wouldn't have never died. They would have lived. But the fact that she wanted to do a home-cooked meal shows the care and attention that she feels to show to Emmet, right? And that, again, is that homely feeling. And actually, a lot of brothers, that's what they're searching for. They're looking for that woman that will create a home out of a house and create a family, not just by having kids, but being the glue and being the nurturer in there. And that's what she's showing to Emmet in that moment, which is why, just like when she came over and saved him with the present situation, and then he saved her in turn with the writing the essay and him looking after the kids in that turn, they've been covering each other. They are showing us what love is. Now, I'm not even talking about romantic love, but just love for one another. That appreciation where he covers her and she covers him. Because she really could have said, okay, let's just do the chicken, it's fine. But she really wanted to show her nurturing side, her caring side by cooking. That's a big deal. It makes a big difference, you know what I mean? And I can rock with that, you know? And I love that for Emmet and for Keisha. And again, it shows him, again, a quality and a side of her that being down in the trenches, look who's coming for you, bro. Look who's backing you, bro. Look who's got your back, bro. Yeah? All right. Let's talk about this.
Me and my dad get along. That's what's crazy.
Man, father figures are important. We've just seen that throughout the whole of the season. We see that in front of the show as well. Bakari earlier on with Rashad. We saw that need of a experienced black man. Again, we see this powerful expression from Emmet. Because we know, obviously, that the relationship between him and his father was a bit estranged at the time, right? He was with his mother, and he had his own growing up to do. Didn't really get on with his father at first, but then started to get on with him once he started to get to know him for himself. And that was so powerful. And as he says right there, me and my dad get along. And I think every boy's dream is to make sure, even if they have a dysfunctional relationship, is to have a good relationship with their father. They want to. Because you want to be able to rely on an older male figure who you can tell your problems to, express your heartfelt. And when we don't have that, is a missing piece for a lot of us as men, and we're having to fill in that information ourselves, and it becomes difficult because for us there's toxic masculinity, whereas for women there's a guard that they gather up when they don't have the father figure. For men, there's oftentimes a toxic masculinity, an overbalance of toxicness of masculinity, because you're trying to almost compensate because you don't know what the balance is. You haven't been shown what the balance is between masculine and feminine energy. You haven't been shown it. So you do the complete extreme. And oftentimes it's what you've seen on TV and the environments around you. And often they've seen the same thing from the environments and the TV around them too, or the media around them as well. So yeah, that Emmett, and do you know what? I love that scene. I'll play it after this. But you know, that's the importance of father figures. And so he has to replicate that and be closer to his kids than his father ever was at the beginning. That will help them have a divine and a deep connection with him, a trust for him, and also as well, those kids in the future will always repay that love and care and attention that he provides for them. So if he wants to change the cycle, the cyclical cycle, he's got to do something different to what his father did. You know what I mean? Don't give up, hang in there, you know what I'm saying, and keep on persevering.
A lot of shit in my life, Otis, and none of it has been easy. But you were a beacon of hope.
Oh, from the hero to the villain, baby. When you sleep with the devil, what you expect apart from hell? Darling, you knew what he was like. You knew what he was on. You know what he was bringing to the table. You can't pretend as if you didn't know, baby. And when you did know, you decided to continue going forward. Even at this stage. And you find yourself falling deeper. I keep on falling in. Love. You know what I mean? You keep falling deeper in love, right? And now you're saying you don't recognize. I hate when people say that. And now I don't recognize you. Oh, get the frick out of here. You do. You recognize me. This is how I started. This is how I'm finishing. Let's not pretend as if you don't know what he's like, baby. Okay? He always been a little bit of a demon. Let's not play it off like that. You know exactly what it is. Okay? So let's not do that. But let me end on this last bit.
You gotta take that crown away from me.
Mess with my crown. Ain't bother nobody. Ain't bother him. Ain't bother you.
It was beautiful to see black joy and laughter. And if you ever have friends come round in a group like this is the kind of laughter that you have where your belly's hurting by the end. Listen, for those who know, my boys, I saw her from far.